All right. So, welcome everyone. Hi. It will be nice if you all can switch on your cameras for a moment and say hello to Lokesh and Krishna today, so that they are also having this comfort that you all are there and you have not just joined. Uh, so, uh, yes, please do say hi and then you can switch off your cameras.
Hi,
But let
Ritesh.
me introduce Lokesh to you. Lokesh is a very interesting person. Lokesh has worked in various domains. He has worked with Nandi Foundation, SKS Microfinance, which I think was Bharat Financial Inclusion Limited, and Sanchetna Financial Services, MicroSave, and Farmart. And he has extensive experience working with the communities as well as in the financial domain too. He has been part of startups throughout his career, and that is why he himself thought that he should become an entrepreneur, and he has started. I think he's a serial entrepreneur. Am I correct, Lokesh?
पता नहीं नॉट हाँ किया तो बहुत कुछ
Yes,
है फिर
yes,
बाद में
he
रियलाइज
is.
किया कि हाँ
All right. So we would like to give you this upadhi. You are a serial entrepreneur. And very interestingly, we have Lokesh here today to understand what should be done by an entrepreneur, maybe if I say, or maybe what should not be done
व्हाट
by
शुड
an
नॉट बी आई गेस रादर
All right. So let me hand over to Krishna. Krishna is also from PRM 23, and Krishna is a gem of a person, guys. I have interacted with Krishna at various moments, various instances, as I have with Lokesh. And Krishna is somebody who will never shy away from helping you, supporting you, doing whatever he can. I mean, he's such a genuine person that you will never feel कि you are meeting him or talking to him for the first time. And ये session वैसे तो लोकेश का है. So I have introduced Lokesh also, and I have introduced Krishna also. Krishna, I will hand over the baton to you now. Krishna, in fact, he's also an entrepreneur, and he runs an organization in which he works across the country. He works with various types of organizations for their research and for their surveys and for their studies and for their discussions. And he also does a lot of trainings, as does Lokesh, because he's also, apart from his entrepreneurship, he loves interacting with the community. And he also works with a lot of foundations. And I would now, finally, I will hand over to you, Krishna. Please take the session forward. And although I've introduced Lokesh, I'm sure you have some very, secret things to tell about Lokesh. So over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Richie, and thank you everyone for joining today. First of all, I would like to give a breaking news that today is Lokesh's birthday. So all of us, let's wish him a very, very happy birthday. So Lokesh, all our good wishes to you.
थैंक यू
And so very interestingly, the talk used to happen on his birthday only. So regarding the organizations and all, I think Richie has spoken. But what because I have been a batchmate and a very close friend of Lokesh since the day we joined campus. So it has been almost 20 years now, and we
22
have been in yeah
22
22 years when we joined the campus. But when we left, so it's 20. So since the last 22 years, Lokesh has been one person with whom, it's apart from other friends, I have been constantly interacting to understand a lot about the new things that are happening in various sectors. Because as Richie told very rightly, that Lokesh is a serial entrepreneur. From day one, the day he left IRMA, or even at IRMA, he has so many new ideas. So he will, by the way, he's a trained engineer from HP TI Kanpur. Uh, and in our batch, Lokesh was one guy, like everybody used to shy away, means not shy away, means get fearful about the assignments and all. but Lokesh was one person who would do every assignment just in a day. And very interestingly, I was in 90% of his groups, and we would divide the work, and he would say, भाई मेरा काम तो हो गया, उसी दिन रात में करके भेज देगा, अब तुम लोग को जो करना है करो. And he would not at all bother about what the grades and what we are doing, getting and all. लेकिन वो अपना काम कर देगा और इतने अच्छे से कर देगा कि उसमें आई थिंक बहुत ज्यादा फिर स्कोप भी नहीं रहेगा कुछ करने का हमारे लिए. तो वो टाइमलीनेस और वो जो फास्टनेस है वो आज भी लोकेश ने मेंटेन किया है, क्योंकि हम कुछ कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स के साथ भी काम करते हैं. So that is what I would like to say. Ki Lokesh has worked in various organizations, maybe 6, 7, 8 organizations, and each organization where he has joined, I have talked to some of his supervisors or some of his bosses to whom I know. Everyone has appreciated his work, and everyone has appreciated the fastness or with the analytical things that he will do his work. लेकिन एक चीज है कि वो अपना काम कर देगा और उसके बाद वो बोलेगा कि यार अब मेरे को परेशान मत करो, बाढ़ में जाए दुनिया, मैंने अपना काम कर दिया, है ना. तो दैट इज हिज वे ऑफ डूइंग वर्क. और जो उस तरीके से उसके साथ काम कर सकता है, सो दे हैव गॉट अ लॉट ऑफ बेनिफिट. आई वुड लाइक टू मेंशन कि कुछ ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस लाइक अभी तो फार्मा काफी बड़ा हो गया. एसकेएस बहुत इनिशियल स्टेज में था जब लोकेश ने उनको 2005 में ज्वाइन किया था, आई थिंक इन हैदराबाद. तो विक्रम अकूला हैज जस्ट स्टार्टेड द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, and Lokesh was the guy who took it from Andhra Pradesh to 5 other states and then pan India. और 1.5-2 साल में ही उसने करीब 2 साल के अंदर ही एसकेएस को मतलब नेशनल मैप पे ले आया था. So he has helped a lot in the growth of many institutions. लेकिन वो अपने ग्रोथ का उतना चिंता नहीं करता है. Now I would like to hand over to Lokesh to go through this journey. वो और बेटर एक्सप्लेन कर पाएगा कि इरमा के बाद उसने कौन कौन से ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ज्वाइन किया, क्या वहां पे की लर्निंग्स रहे, क्या फ्रस्ट्रेशंस हुए एज अ, क्योंकि इनिशियली उसने एज ए स्टाफ ज्वाइन किया था, फिर उसने अपना भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन प्रमोट किया. तो एज ए स्टाफ क्या फ्रस्ट्रेशन रहता है, एज ए एंटरप्रेन्योर क्या फ्रस्ट्रेशन रहता है, एंड हाउ ही कोप्स अप. और अभी जो अपना नया इनिशिएटिव स्टार्ट किया है, हेरिटेज, लोकेश नाम हेरिटेज क्या है उसका?
इट इज कनेक्ट.
Heritage Connect. So Heritage Connect is a latest new initiative of Lokesh. So उसके बारे में भी लोकेश बताएंगे after the going through his journey. I think it will be a very interesting to understand how he has gone through in the last this 20-22 years. तो हम अब सब लोकेश को सुनते हैं और उसके बाद जो कुछ क्वेश्चंस आएंगे आप लोग उसमें you can put it in the message box. We'll take up the questions later on. So next around 30 minutes, Lokesh, for you to go through your journey, different organizations, different learnings, key anecdotes जो भी आप शेयर करना चाहें. Thank you.
ओके जी, थैंक यू, थैंक्स अ लॉट. तो सबसे पहले तो थैंक्स फॉर हैविंग मी रितेश एंड रिची. काफ़ी दिन से हम लोग ये बात कर रहे थे, आई गेस 6 महीने के करीब हो गया जब से बात शुरू हुआ. And I proposed it to be on 31st because I thought it's a special day for me, and I knew that I was going to be in Roorkee. So it's a new chapter in my life also. मैं रुड़की छोड़ के गया था 98 में, तो it's been 26 years that I have come back to this place. इंजीनियरिंग, उसके बाद इरमा के बाद फिर हैदराबाद, फिर उसके बाद लखनऊ. सो नाउ आफ्टर 26 years आई एम कमिंग बैक. तो मेरे लिए एक नया फेज है, ये भी एक नए तरह का, नॉट से स्टार्टअप बट एक नया फेज तो है ही, नई तरह की चैलेंजेस हैं. नाउ कमिंग बैक टू द टॉपिक, एक तो मुझे कुछ बैचमेट्स दिख रहे हैं, तो स्वदेश इज देयर, रंजीत इज देयर, आई गेस विवेक, अंकुर, 3-4 लोग हैं. तो हाय एवरीवन. अब जैसे कृष्णा ने बताया, नाउ आई विल स्टार्ट थोड़ा सा पहले से, मतलब नॉट इरमा छोड़ने के जस्ट पहले, मे बी इरमा का जब कैंपस प्लेसमेंट चल रहा था वहीं से थोड़ा शुरू करते हैं. तो इन द कैंपस प्लेसमेंट, नाउ व्हेन आई जॉइंड इरमा, मैंने कोई तैयारी नहीं की थी. जस्ट टू गिव यू बैकग्राउंड कि मैं एकदम बहुत ही मैं गवर्नमेंट स्कूल से पढ़ा हुआ हूँ. मैंने इंग्लिश पढ़ना 6 से शुरू किया था. मैंने 6 में ABCD पढ़ना शुरू किया है. मेरी इंग्लिश कोई बहुत अच्छी नहीं थी, मुझे इंग्लिश एज अ सब्जेक्ट आता था, बोलना मुझे बिल्कुल नहीं आता था. तो जब मैं इंजीनियरिंग में पहुंचा हूँ, वो 4 साल भी मैंने केवल लाइब्रेरी से केवल नॉवेल्स इशू कराए हैं, बिकॉज मैं अपनी इंग्लिश बेटर करना चाहता था। एंड इवन इन इरमा मैंने कभी कोई टेक्स्ट बुक इशू नहीं कराई, मैंने केवल नॉवेल्स इशू कराए थे। बिकॉज और जो जिन लोगों के पास अच्छी किताबें होती थी, जैसे हमारे बैच में मैथ्यू विलियम सेरिल था या अरिंदम दास गुप्ता था, जो लोग अच्छा पढ़ते थे, तो मैं उनसे किताबें बोरो करता था, जिससे कि मैं पढ़ के उनको 6-7 घंटे में वापस कर सकूं, सो दैट आई कैन इम्प्रूव माई रीडिंग स्किल्स और बोलने की और सब कुछ चीज़ें। बट मैं ये क्यों बता रहा हूँ, बिकॉज मैंने कभी कोई किसी एमबीए एंट्रेंस का कोई कोचिंग नहीं ली थी। इट वाज प्योरली इरमा। मैं क्यों हो गया, क्योंकि इरमा में उस समय 65 जनरल नॉलेज वाले क्वेश्चंस आते थे, एंड वो मुझे बहुत अच्छे से आते थे, बिकॉज मैं बचपन से न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ता रहा हूँ। तो मुझे ये श्योर था कि ये वाला पार्ट मैं क्रैक कर लूंगा, सो दैट्स हाउ आई गॉट इनटू इरमा। बट जब कैंपस प्लेसमेंट की बात आई, तो एज यूजुअली वुड हैपन कि आप सब ए ग्रेड ए चॉइसेस, ए और बी चॉइसेस देते थे। तो हमने जो ए चॉइसेस दी थी, उनमें से 4 चॉइसेस मेरी डे 1 में खत्म हो चुकी थी, एंड जिनमें से कि 3 में जीडी था, एक अमूल था, विच ऑब्वियसली ऑलमोस्ट एवरीवन गिव्स एज अ चॉइस। अमूल में मेरा नहीं हुआ, बिकॉज आई आई स्टिल बिलीव कि वो थोड़ा सा क्राइटेरिया सेट करके आते हैं किसको लेना है किसको नहीं लेना है, तो अमूल में तो नहीं हुआ। देन रेस्ट 3 प्लेसेस देयर वाज जीडी, एंड मैं जीडी में एक शब्द भी नहीं बोल पाया, बिकॉज मुझे बोलना आता ही नहीं था। आई थॉट कि जीडी में हम जैसे नॉर्मल दोस्त थे, तो दोस्त जैसे बात करेंगे, आपस में बात करके चले आएंगे। बट जब जीडी शुरू हुआ, तो वहां पे आई रियलाइज डॉग फाइट, कि वहां तो सब लोग किसी को बोलने का मौका ही नहीं दे रहे हो, मैं एकदम चुप बैठा हुआ हूँ, एकदम डर के कि अब बोलूंगा, इसके बाद बोलूंगा, उसके बाद बोलूंगा। बट देन वो 3 जो चॉइसेस थी वो खत्म हो गई सब, 15-15 20-20 मिनट में जीडीज खत्म हो गई, एंड देन आई वाज विदाउट अ जॉब एट डे 1। अब अगर आप लोगों ने, ऑब्वियसली सभी लोगों ने वो फेस किया है, दैट अगर आप डे 1 के बाद इफ यू आर विदाउट जॉब, देन दैट्स द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट फेज टू बी इन। बिकॉज आपको शाम को कमरे में तो अकेले ही जाना पड़ेगा, मे बी दिन में तो लोग साथ होंगे, रात को खाना वाना खाते टाइम सब लोग आपको सांत्वना दे रहे होंगे कि भाई हाँ चलो ठीक है, कोई नहीं, कल हो जाएगा। बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे व्हेन यू गो बैक टू योर रूम, देन यू रियलाइज कि आप शायद अपने आप को क्वेश्चन करने लगोगे कि आर यू इवन वर्थ, जो आप अपने बारे में सोचते थे, क्या वो आप थे भी या नहीं थे, या क्या जो कुछ आपने अपने बारे में एक इमेज बनाई हुई थी, क्या वो सच थी या नहीं थी। सो दैट वाज अ डे फॉर मी, एंड आई क्राइड अ लॉट, बिकॉज मुझे लगा कि अब तो ये तो खत्म है, अब तो कुछ नहीं होना है, बिकॉज मेरी सारी चॉइसेस तो जा चुकी हैं। बट देन मैंने वहां पे रियलाइज किया कि कुछ लोग हैं जो कि, जैसे जिनको कि आप शायद उससे पहले तक अपना अच्छा दोस्त ना समझते हो, और वो आपकी मदद करते हैं, और कुछ जो आपको लगता है कि आपके दोस्त थे, शायद वो उतने अच्छे से नहीं काम आते हैं। बट आई गेस दैट्स द मोमेंट ऑफ ट्रुथ कैंपस प्लेसमेंट के टाइम पे, कि जिन लोगों का शायद नहीं होता है, वो एक अलग तरह की ब्रदरहुड या सिस्टरहुड होती है, और जिनका हो जाता है, वो एक अलग तरह की ब्रदरहुड सिस्टरहुड हो जाती है। So in my case, there were a lot of, like, there were at least like 2-3 people, and I personally thank them afterwards, कि जिन्होंने आके मुझे बताया कि भैया जीडी अगर है तो जीडी में आपको बोलना तो पड़ेगा ही पड़ेगा। एंड देन दे गिव मी अ गुरु मंत्र, कि अगर जीडी में या तो आप जीडी ओपन कर दो, या फिर जिसने ओपन किया उसके पॉइंट को अपोज करो, चाहे वो सच भी बोल रहा हो, चाहे आप फुल्ली कन्विंस भी हो कि वो सच बोल रहा है, लेकिन आप उस पॉइंट को अपोज करो। एंड सो मैंने वही अपनाया। तो नेक्स्ट डे नांदी फाउंडेशन वाज माय फिफ्थ चॉइस इन कैटेगरी ए। तो नांदी वाज माय, लाइक उसमें भी जीडी था, एंड जीडी में मेरे को ऐसा था कि अब तो मुझे भी डॉग फाइट में करना ही है। तो दैट आई आल्सो स्टार्टेड ब्लर्टिंग आउट जो कुछ भी मेरे मन में आ रहा था, एंड देन आई स्पोक अ लॉट उस जीडी में। उसके बाद मैं ये श्योर था कि कम से कम इंटरव्यू कॉल तो होगा ही होगा, बाकी जो कुछ होगा कि नहीं होगा। एंड देन एज इट हैपेंड, इंटरव्यू का कॉल हुआ। इंटरव्यू बहुत अच्छा हुआ, बिकॉज देन दे स्टार्टेड आस्किंग मी अबाउट पॉलिटिकल क्वेश्चंस और सब कुछ, कि भाई उस समय अफगानिस्तान वॉर जस्ट चल रहा था, एंड कि अफगानिस्तान में जो हो रहा है और जो रशिया का डिसइंटीग्रेशन हुआ है, उसके बाद व्हाट डू यू थिंक, ऑल दैट। सो इट्स माय फेवरेट पार्ट, कि जिसपे मैं आसानी से बात कर सकता हूँ। तो इंटरव्यू वेंट वेल, एंड आई वाज श्योर कि मुझे कॉल आएगा, एंड देन आई गॉट द ऑफर लेटर। दे वर पेइंग 19,200 rupees that point of time, which was a fairly good amount of money. So that's how, like, I ended up in Hyderabad. My joining was 5th of May 2004. So I joined Nandi Foundation. Now, अगर जिन लोगों को पता नहीं है, Nandi Foundation was an NGO, बट इट वाज अ कॉर्पोरेट एनजीओ, सो टू से। नांदी फाउंडेशन के जो 4 प्रोमोटर्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस थी, दोज वर डॉक्टर अंजी रेड्डी, डॉक्टर रेड्डीज लेबोरेटरीज, देन नागार्जुना फर्टिलाइजर्स, Then there was one guy called Ramesh Jelly of Global Trust Bank, and there was fourth guy Ramalingam Raju of Satyam. Now, as you would know, that two of those guys was actually caught for frauds. So Ramalingam Raju of Satyam and then Ramesh Jelly of Global Trust Bank. But it was little later, not at the time of our joining. And हमारा जो ऑफिस था वो ऑफिस था, there is a tower called Trendset Towers in Banjara Hills, which is owned by Nagarjuna, the actor Nagarjuna. And our office was on fifth floor, and Nagarjuna and his wife, they own a discotheque on the ground floor. So why I'm telling you, like, it was a very kind of a place where I joined. But अब मेरे लिए फर्स्टली मैं कभी साउथ नहीं गया था, तो मैंने कभी हैदराबाद नहीं देखा था। अब तो वहां पर एडजस्ट करना, एंड जो मेरे लिए काम था वो काम अगेन, सो एज आई हैड रिटन इन माय बायो आल्सो, कि वो एक तरह का इंटरनल स्टार्टअप था। तो द वर्क दैट आई वाज सपोज्ड टू डू, आई वाज अ प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर फॉर पोर्टेबल वाटर प्रोजेक्ट। नाउ व्हाट वाज पोर्टेबल वाटर? जो कोस्टल आंध्रा का जो रीजन है, जहां पर कि लोग उस समय तक एटलीस्ट सरफेस वाटर इस्तेमाल करते थे पीने के लिए, अब ड्यूरिंग मॉनसून मंथ्स, जब वो, अब क्योंकि वो सरफेस वाटर इस्तेमाल करते हैं, उसी में सारी जो गंदगी है वो बहकर जाती है, और वो पानी पीते थे, उससे उनको कॉलेरा, डिसेंट्री, सब तरह के रोग होते थे। सो द प्रोजेक्ट वाज बेसिकली टू सेट अप वाटर प्यूरिफिकेशन सिस्टम, लार्ज वंस, कम्युनिटी लेवल पे वाटर प्यूरिफिकेशन सिस्टम सेटअप करना था। The catch was that community was supposed to pay for it so that they value it. So it was basically a NGO-led program, but community was supposed to pay. Now you imagine कि एक गांव है, गांव का एक तालाब है, जिस तालाब को वो आज की डेट में इस्तेमाल करते हैं किसी भी काम के लिए, जैसे भी वो चाहते हैं। अब organization was asking them to barricade this pond and not use for any other purpose, and then we will set up a plant, and then the community will pay for that water, purified water. Now I was given a task कि आपको 10 गांव select करने हैं for this project. So I was project manager, and then technology was given by Mr. Ashok Gadgil, who used to be a scientist with UCLA. And there was this another organization, Water Health International, which was that time run by someone who was ex-CEO of Johnson and Johnson, Trollens Eddy. So Trollens Eddy was heading from that side, Dr. Anji Reddy from Dr. Reddy's foundation. So that was a joint collaboration, and my task was basically to set up the ground कि कोस्टल आंध्रा में जाकर मुझे 10 गांव इस तरह के तैयार करने हैं, जो कि अपना तालाब हमें दें, उसको किसी और चीज के लिए इस्तेमाल ना करें, और पानी भी हमसे खरीदें। नाउ यू कैन इमेजिन, इट्स अ हाईली पॉलिटिकल सब्जेक्ट, कि गांव में जाना है, आपको गांव वालों से कहना है कि आप अपना तालाब किसी और काम के लिए इस्तेमाल नहीं करेंगे, एंड आप पानी के लिए पैसा भी देंगे। नाउ इमेजिन माय सिचुएशन कि मुझे तेलुगु का एक शब्द नहीं आता है। नाउ दिस इज कोस्टल आंध्रा, जहाँ पे कि वो हिंदी इंग्लिश कुछ नहीं समझते, केवल तेलुगु समझते। नाउ आई एम गिवन अ स्टाफ जो कि तेलुगु में उनको समझाएगा। अब मैं नॉर्मली, लाइक, मैं तो बेसिकली हिंदी स्पीकिंग हूँ, तो मेरे दिमाग में लॉजिक तो मैं हिंदी में ही फॉर्म करता हूँ, तो मैं हिंदी में लॉजिक फॉर्म करूंगा, मैं उसको इंग्लिश में समझाऊंगा। अब जो ये सामने वाला आदमी है जो कि तेलुगु स्पीकिंग है, उसकी मदर टंग तेलुगु है, उसकी इंग्लिश मेरे से भी ज्यादा पैदल है, अब वो उसको समझेगा, फिर वो उसको तेलुगु में उनको समझाएगा, फिर वो गांव वाले वापस उसको समझाएंगे, फिर वो उसको ट्रांसलेट करेगा, फिर वो मुझको समझाएगा, फिर मैं उनके साथ आर्ग्यूमेंट करूंगा। सो दिस वाज द प्रोसेस। नाउ जब मुझे जाना था, जाने के लिए आई वाज बेस्ड आउट ऑफ हैदराबाद, अब मुझे जाना था कृष्णा डिस्ट्रिक्ट, सो व्हिच इज विजयवाड़ा इज द हेडक्वार्टर। विजयवाड़ा से पहले एक जगह है नंदीग्रामा, तो आई वाज टू गो टू नंदीग्रामा, जहां मुझे ये आदमी मिलने वाला था। अब मुझे, मेरे लिए टिकट बुक कर दिया गया। अब टिकट जो बुक किया गया उस पे सब कुछ तेलुगु में लिखा था। तो अब मुझे, मेरा एक बैचमेट था हितेश जैन, वी वर इन द सेम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, नांदी में था, उसने मुझे अमीरपेट बस स्टैंड पर छोड़ दिया और मुझे कहा कि यहाँ से बस आएगी। नाउ बस जो आई है, बस पे भी तेलुगु में लिखा है, और मेरे टिकट पे भी तेलुगु में लिखा है। अब मुझे पता नहीं कौन सी बस मेरी है। अब मैं वहां पे खड़ा हुआ हूँ कि मुझे शाम को बस लेनी है, बट मुझे किसी ने ये बताया था कि नंदीग्रामा इज 50 किलोमीटर बिफोर विजयवाड़ा, तो दैट मच आई न्यू। अब मैंने जो उसमें बस नंबर लिखा था उसको दोनों को मैच किया कि अच्छा ये लिखा है सर्विस नंबर, ये मेरे टिकट पे लिखा है, दैट मींस दिस इज द बस। मैंने कंडक्टर को दिखाया, बस में चढ़ गया। कंडक्टर को मैंने बोला कि भैया नंदी ग्रामा, गेट डाउन। उसको जो भी समझ में आया उसने कहा यस 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 यस, एंड देन मैं सो गया। अब मैं जब सोने के बाद, जब मैं सुबह उठा, जब मेरी आंख खुली, तो मैंने देखा कि विजयवाड़ा 44 किलोमीटर, दैट मीन्स आई वॉज पास नंदी ग्रामा। तो अब मैं कहीं और 20 जगह उतर चुका था। फिर मैंने किसी तरह हंगामा करके बस रुकवाई, किसी ट्रैक्टर से लिफ्ट लेके आया, फिर इस आदमी के साथ में गया। तो अब ये सारे प्रोसेस में नाउ अब मैं अपनी बाकी चैलेंजेस भी हैंडल कर रहा था। अब अगर आप में से जो भी कोई अगर कोस्टल आंध्रा गया है, उसको पता होगा कि वहाँ पे मिर्ची खाते हैं। अगर आपने कहा कि अनियन डोसा, तो जितनी अनियन है उतनी मिर्ची होगी। और मैं ज़िंदगी में बिल्कुल मिर्च नहीं खाता था, मेरे घर में कोई मिर्च नहीं खाता। अब मुझे वो भी मैनेज करना है। मुझे सोने के लिए मिलते थे 200 रुपया रोज़। अब 200 रुपए में आपको एसी रूम तो नहीं मिलेगा। अब आप कोस्टल में गए हैं जहाँ ह्यूमिडिटी लेवल नॉर्मली 70-75% है, पसीना बहुत आएगा। तो मैं जब रात को सोता था, तो आई कुड सी माय एंटायर बॉडी, कि बॉडी का स्ट्रक्चर जो था वो ऐसे बिस्तर पे रहेगा। मैंने जो करवट लिया, करवट लेके मैं ऐसे पलटूंगा तो वहां बॉडी का स्ट्रक्चर होगा, इतना पसीना आपको आएगा। और उस सब के बीच में हमें ये सब मैनेज करना था। तो समाओ मतलब मैंने 3 महीने में कुछ 2 गांव मैनेज किए, सब कुछ किया। अब जैसे कृष्णा बता रहा था कि मैं आई एम वेरी पर्टिकुलर कि मुझे क्या करना है, बट देन आई डोंट गिव डैम के बाकी लोग क्या सोचते हैं, या उनकी मुझे कुछ खुशामद करनी चाहिए, या उनको खुश करने के लिए कुछ करना चाहिए। सो माई बॉस यूज टू बी मधुसूदन करके एक थे, CFO। ही वॉज माई बॉस। तो मैं अपना काम करता था और मैं शाम को 6 बजे घर चला जाता था। बट नॉर्मली जैसे आप सब लोगों ने अगर कॉर्पोरेट्स में काम किया हो, देखा हो कि जो कुछ बॉसेस होते हैं जो कि अपनी ज़िंदगी से सताए हुए रहते हैं, तो वो ना खुद घर जाते हैं, ना किसी को घर जाने देते हैं। तो उनको लगता है कि अगर मैं घर से परेशान हूँ, तो आप भी यहीं बैठो। अब उनकी बात पे आपको हँसना है, बिना बात के वो जोक मारेंगे, आपको हाँ, हाँ, हाँ करना है, क्योंकि अदरवाइज़ वो गुस्सा हो जाएँगे। तो ऐसा ऐसा होता था कि उसके केबिन में लोग चले जाएँगे, 8 बजे तक बैठे हैं, मैं अपना 6 बजे घर जाता था, क्योंकि मैं अकेले रहता था। अपना जाना है, खाना बनाना है, सब कुछ करना है। तो आई वुड नेवर गिव अ डैम कि भई मैं जाऊँ, उसको खुश करने की कोशिश करूँ। तो अब इस सब के बीच में हुआ ये कि वो, अब ऑब्वियसली किसी ने उसके कान भरे होंगे, तो वो थोड़ा-सा नाराज़ हो गया। अब मेरा जो ब्रीफ था वो ये था कि आपको 15 दिन विजयवाड़ा रहना है और 15 दिन आपको हैदराबाद रहना है। तो आई हैड टेकन अ रूम इन हैदराबाद। अब मैं हैदराबाद से 15 दिन वहाँ रहता था। जब मैं वापस आया नवरात्रि की छुट्टी के बाद, तो जब मैं वापस पहुँचता हूँ, तो आई रिसीव्ड अ लेटर कि आपका ट्रांसफ़र हो गया है। तो मैंने कहा क्यों? तो उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, ये तो आप मधु सर से बात कर लीजिए। सो आई वेंट टू हिम। तो मैंने पूछा कि सर ये ट्रांसफ़र क्यों हुआ है? कह रहे नहीं, आपका प्रोजेक्ट वहाँ है, तो आपको वहाँ ट्रांसफ़र होना है। तो मैंने कहा सर लेकिन 15 दिन तो मुझे हैदराबाद आना है, तो इससे कैसे फ़र्क पड़ेगा कि मैं 15 दिन यहाँ रहूँ और वहाँ जाऊँ, या 15 दिन वहाँ रह के 15 दिन यहाँ आऊँ? तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं, नहीं, ये तो आपको तो जाना पड़ेगा। तो अब मैं थोड़ा-सा मतलब दिमाग से पैदल आदमी हूँ। तो मैंने कहा मतलब ये क्या मतलब हुआ? आप क्यों ज़बरदस्ती कि जाना पड़ेगा? आप मुझे लॉजिक दो, अगर आप मुझे कन्विंस कर सकोगे, मैं बिल्कुल चला जाऊँगा। तो ही सेड कि नहीं, मैं बॉस हूँ, मैं कह रहा हूँ तो आपको जाना पड़ेगा। देन ये सुन के मेरा तो एकदम दिमाग ही वो हो गया, मैंने ट्रिगर किया मैं कि नहीं भाई, ऐसे तो नहीं मैं जाऊँगा। तो मैंने कहा सर देन आई वुड रिज़ाइन। तो उसने कहा ठीक है, तुम सोच लो, तुम्हें अगर देखना है 7 दिन बाद फिर आना, अगर तब भी तुम्हारा ये डिसीज़न होगा, तो फिर देखेंगे। तो आई वेंट आफ्टर 7 डेज़। उन्होंने पूछा क्या डिसीज़न है? मैंने कहा सर रिज़ाइन करना है। तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है। मैंने रिज़ाइन कर दिया। अब रिज़ाइन कर दिया लेकिन कोई जॉब हाथ में नहीं है। कभी सोचा भी नहीं कि अब क्या करना है। तो देन आई वेंट बैक होम। अब जो अकल से पैदल होने वाली बात मैं कर रहा था कि मुझे हैदराबाद इतना पसंद आया उस समय कि मैंने डिसाइड ये किया कि मुझे हैदराबाद में ही जॉब चाहिए। अब कोई जॉब नहीं है, लेकिन मैंने डिसाइड किया कि नहीं, हैदराबाद में ही जॉब चाहिए, अब ढूँढ लेंगे यहाँ पे। तो देन आई स्टार्टेड लुक अराउंड। तो एक ब्रेटिन सरकार करके अपने सीनियर थे, अगर आप कुछ लोग मिले होंगे शायद, उनसे मैं मिला। फिर किसी ने मुझे वेलुगु प्रोग्राम के बारे में बताया। फिर एक जो जयराम रमेश उस समय राज्यसभा MP हुआ करते थे खम्मम के, तो एक इनका प्रोग्राम चलता था, उसके बारे में मैं मिला। तो सब कुछ मिला, लेकिन सैलरी पे थोड़ा बहुत वो था। करते-करते लगभग 1.5 महीना करीब बीत गया और मुझे जॉब नहीं मिली। नाउ आई वाज़ इन अ वेरी प्रिकेरियस सिचुएशन, बिकॉज़ मेरे घर पे मैं फाइनेंशियली मैं पैसा भेजता था और मैंने घरवालों को नहीं बताया था कि मैंने जॉब छोड़ दी है। तो आई डिड नॉट हैव गट्स कि मैं उनको बताऊँ कि मैंने जॉब छोड़ दी है। 1.5 महीना हो चुका था। बट देन समहाउ मेरी एक बैचमेट हैं श्वेता गांधी, अगर आप लोग जानते हो। तो श्वेता के हस्बैंड हैं KG कृष्ण गोपाल। तो श्वेता की उसी समय शादी हुई थी, तो मैं कृष्ण गोपाल से मिला था। तो कृष्ण गोपाल न्यू समवन इन SKS, सीतारामा राव, हु यूज्ड टू बी CEO दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम। तो श्वेता ने KG को बताया। KG ने मुझे फ़ोन किया कि ऐसे-ऐसे आप जाओ, सीतारामा राव का नंबर दिया कि आप उनसे बात कर लो। आई कॉल्ड अप सीतारामा राव। तो उन्होंने कहा कि हाँ लोकेश, मुझे KG ने बताया, तो आप ऐसा करो कि मेरी जो कलीग हैं, प्रसीदा कुन्नम, आप उनसे आओ, उनसे मिल लो। सो आई कॉल्ड अप प्रसीदा कुन्नम, तो प्रसीदा ने कहा ठीक है आप आ जाओ। तो देन आई वेंट। तो एसकेएस का जो ऑफिस था उस समय बाबू खान एस्टेट करके एक उस समय हैदराबाद की सबसे ऊंची बिल्डिंग हुआ करती थी, 15 फ्लोर वाली, उसमें चौथे फ्लोर पर उनका ऑफिस था। सो आई वेंट देयर। अब मेरे साथ एक चीज क्या है कि मैं बहुत मतलब मैंने फॉर्मल कपड़े, मेरे पास एक कोट है जो मैंने 500 रुपये में नेहरू प्लेस से खरीदा है दिल्ली में। उसके अलावा मेरे पास कोट कभी मैंने जिंदगी में नहीं पहना, जबकि मैं माइक्रोसेव में था। तो मैंने इवन इरमा के इंटरव्यू जो है, मेरा कोट मैंने किसी का उधार लिया था पहले दिन, जब मेरा नहीं हुआ था, अगले दिन मैंने कोट भी नहीं पहना था। और मैं नॉर्मली जो बाहें ऐसे स्लीव्स में रोल करके ऊपर रखता हूँ। तो मैं जब वहां गया तो मैं ऑब्वियसली इंटरव्यू देने गया, स्लीव्स मैंने नीचे फोल्ड कर रखी थी। और जब मैंने प्रसिद्धा को देखा तो प्रसिद्धा एकदम चेयर पे ऐसे बैठी थी और पैर ऊपर करके। मैंने कहा ये तो बिल्कुल मेरे टाइप का प्लेस है। मैंने भी अपनी स्लीव्स फोल्ड की, मैंने भी मस्त टाइप इंटरव्यू दिया। बहुत अच्छे से इंटरव्यू हुआ, सब कुछ हो गया। मैं वापस चला आया, मुझे लगा कि अब तो हो ही गया है, बट देन कुछ दिन तक कॉल नहीं आया। फिर मैंने वापस कॉल किया प्रसिद्धा को, तो प्रसिद्धा ने कहा कि लोकेश हमें आपको ऑफर तो देना है, बट हमारे पास कोई भी ऐसी पोजीशन नहीं है जो खाली हो, तो हम आपका डेजिग्नेशन सोच रहे हैं कि आपको क्या डेजिग्नेशन दिया था। तो मैंने कहा मैम कुछ भी दे दो, फिलहाल तो नौकरी की जरूरत है। तो उन्होंने कहा कि ठीक है। मैनेजर प्लानिंग एंड मॉनिटरिंग करके उन्होंने डेजिग्नेशन दिया मुझे। 12,500 रुपया सैलरी फिक्स की, तो 19,200 से आई वेंट बैक टू 12,500 पे मैं चला गया। अब जब उन्होंने मुझे ऑफर दिया तो अब मैं थोड़ा रिलैक्स हो गया। तो मैंने कहा अब आपने इतने दिन लेट किया तो 7 दिन मैं भी थोड़ा सा लेट करूंगा, तो मुझे अब महाराष्ट्र में सफेद टोपी वाले किसान देखने हैं। तो मतलब बाई जस्ट ऐसे ही विम्स पे। तो हमारा एक और बैचमेट संजय धांटा जो है, यूज टू बी डिपो इंचार्ज फॉर नासिक। तो मैंने सोचा कि नासिक जाते हैं, 6-7 दिन महाराष्ट्र घूमेंगे। तो अब नासिक जाने का सीधा रास्ता नहीं था, तो मैंने शिरडी की एक बस ली हैदराबाद से। फिर शिरडी से मैंने एक अहमदनगर की बस, औरंगाबाद की बस ली, औरंगाबाद से एक नासिक ली, नासिक पहुंचे। वहाँ इनफैक्ट हमने कृष्णा को भी बुलाया। तो हम लोग ऐसे ही बस 4-5 दिन ऐसे ही कुछ नहीं किया, खाया पिया, फिल्म देखी। मतलब एक इतनी बकवास फिल्म थी फरदीन खान की, वो हमने 3 शो देखे लगातार। एक शो देख के निकले, वापस आए, पॉपकॉर्न लिए, फिर दूसरा शो देखने चले गए, फिर वापस आए, फिर तीसरा शो देखने चले गए। ऐसे करते करते हमने ऐसे नासिक में टाइम बिताया। उस समय कृष्णा बॉम्बे में ही था, तो ये भी आ गया था। फिर मैं बॉम्बे जाके फिर वापस आके मैंने ज्वाइन किया। सो दिस वाज दिसंबर 2004। अब जब मैं वहां पहुंचा तो तब तक एसकेएस जो है वो कैंपस रिक्रूटमेंट नहीं करता था, और मैंने अमूल टाटा वाली फेलोशिप ली हुई थी। तो उसमें ये था कि 3 साल बाद 80,000 रुपये मिलने हैं, बट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो है वो रजिस्टर्ड होना चाहिए। तो मेरा पर्सनल हित ये था कि अगर एसकेएस रजिस्टर्ड होगा तो मुझे 80,000 रुपये मिल जाएंगे, मेरा काफी काम हो जाएगा। एंड देन मैंने एसकेएस को कहा भी कि भाई आप लोग कैंपस रिक्रूटमेंट क्यों नहीं करते हैं। तो उन्होंने कहा कि हमें पता ही नहीं क्या प्रोसेस है। देन आई स्टार्टेड द प्रोसेस ऑफ कैंपस में रजिस्टर कराने के लिए एसकेएस को। तो ये सब होते होते क्या हुआ कि फिर हम प्री प्लेसमेंट टॉक्स के लिए गए, इरमा गए। तो आई हैड पास्ड आउट इन 2004, देन आई वेंट टू रिक्रूट इन 2005 इरमा। तो मैंने वहाँ एसकेएस को वहाँ रजिस्टर कराया। एंड 28 जनवरी को वाइल वी वर इन इरमा, हम पीपीटी के लिए गए हुए थे। 28 जनवरी विच इज प्रसिद्धास बर्थडे ऑल्सो, उसी दिन एसकेएस को एनबीएफसी का लाइसेंस मिला था। So which allowed SKS to operate outside Andhra also, because original जो उनके पास रजिस्ट्रेशन था वो सोसाइटीज एक्ट का था, जिसके तहत वो केवल आंध्रा में काम कर सकते थे। बट नाउ एनबीएफसी लाइसेंस अलाउड देम टू वर्क आउटसाइड आंध्रा ऑल्सो। सो देन दैट वाज वन हर्डल लेस। तो फिर हमने कैंपस से रिक्रूट किया। अब कैंपस से रिक्रूट किया तो देन आई ओनली सजेस्टेड कि भाई आपको 15,000 रुपये तो कम से कम देना पड़ेगा, अदरवाइज कोई कैंपस में नहीं आएगा। So then they made the offer of 15,000. Now I was getting 12,500, but I recruited people, my juniors, at 15,000 rupees. So the, now in that case, now when we went there and then we recruited 3 people from Irma, and then there was one other guy from IFM who was not in operations in SKS. So he insisted that we should also go to IIFM. So we went to IIFM and took 2 people from there also. So we took like total 5 professionals in 2005. Now, अब हुआ ये कि 2000, and now just to maybe make one more point, I was their first Hindi speaking staff in the operations side. So there were like only 24 people in head office. I was 25th guy. I was their first Hindi speaking staff. तो अब उसके लिए ये था कि लेकिन मेरा कोई खास इस्तेमाल वो आंध्रा में तो नहीं कर सकते थे। बट देयर इज दिस प्लेस कॉल्ड निजामाबाद इन north of or northwest of Andhra, now Telangana, which is bordering Bidar as well as Nanded in Maharashtra. तो वहाँ पे निज़ामाबाद में द लार्जेस्ट पॉपुलेशन इज मुस्लिम, तो उर्दू चलती है, तो उर्दू हिंदी मिक्स. सो आई वाज गिवन दैट टेरिटरी that you should look after Nizamabad. Now, Nizamabad was the first case where a mass microfinance default had happened. So that was prior to my joining. 1.8 crore of SKS's portfolio was in NPAs. Why? Because there was this one Sheher Qazi who announced one fine day that Muslims are not supposed to take loans and they are not supposed to pay interest. So now Muslims had stopped paying loans to SKS. Now 1.8 crore was 9% of SKS's total portfolio. So it was a huge amount. And I was given charge of that particular geography. It was a tough job. Like our staff would get kidnapped also. Like they would go for collection. Someone would just put them into Maruti Omni and would just roam around with that Maruti Omni. So all that kind of experiences, very learning experiences, but slightly threatening as well. So that was my first assignment in microfinance. And then as like SKS got the NBFC license, and then we had people from IRMA also. Vikram Akula joined back from McKinsey in 2005, July 2005, and then he said that now as we have NBFC license, so why don't we go outside? So he asked me to start the Karnataka operations. So I prepared a manual, day by day manual of training. So all these 5 people who we had recruited. So you may know, which is some might be your, I'm not sure, like not your immediate seniors, but like Vyomkesh Mishra, Vijay Kumar, Sushant, Sushant Tripathi. So those were 3 people who we had recruited.
Yeah, PRM 24.
PRM 24, correct. Yeah, PRM 24. So 3 people that we recruited, they were there. Now I prepared a manual to train them, and they were trained accordingly. And then I went to Karnataka to start Karnataka operations. Now I wanted to give you one important maybe leadership lesson, that in this case, when I went to Karnataka, Vikram Akula, who was my boss, he put like 10 lakh rupees in my personal account, saying that you do whatever it takes to start, and even if you lose every single penny of this money, I would not question you. So this was like, to a guy who was 25 years old, it was a huge sort of responsibility, as well as someone who's putting that kind of trust. So that was the initial days in SKS. Now I started Karnataka, and then that gave us a template of how to start. And while I was starting Karnataka, first time I met a collector, first time I met a SP, completely like had no idea, used to wait 5 6 hours outside their offices, but learned that how to manage those relationships also. Started a bank account, opened a bank account, took a office on lease, recruited people. All that had happened. But that gave us a template. So we took the same template, and then after 6 months I handed over that territory to Vijay Kumar, who was posted in Gulbarga there. Then I started Maharashtra, because we wanted to test the model that this template could be used in different geographies. So once we were sure of that this is the template, then we thought of how to maybe take it forward. So the first model that Vikram thought was about a franchisee based model. So why can't we just make a franchisee? So we will cover the finances as well as the trademark and technology. The rest, the franchisee, the person can take care of. So this assignment was given to Intellicap, which was that time run by, obviously you know who, plus like who was our senior. So those two were the guys like who were running Intellicap that point of time. So they came back with a model, and our first franchisee was supposed to be Harsha Moily. So some of you might know Harsha Moily is the son of Virappa Moily, ex-CM of Karnataka. So Harsha Moily came over to SKS. I took them around. I showed them around that how this entire thing works. Intellicap presented the model, but the model was little ahead of its time. So they were proposing a caseload of about 1,000 clients per loan officer at that point of time, 2005, whereas the industry norm was 200 to 50 clients. So their model was only financially sustainable at that level. But then Vikram said that there is also a catch, that if we give someone our license to use, and that person might be doing so many other things, if something goes wrong, then the RBI would come back and would suspend our license. So then we decided not to go ahead with the franchisee way. And then we thought, okay, now why can't we recruit more people and treat them as our internal franchisee? So that was the model that SKS took. So which was basically recruiting professionals from colleges, treating them as internal franchisee, give them full freedom of operational freedom, but take control of the brand, technology, finances, and the back end. With that model in mind, we went around to all the campuses. So we went to IRMA in 2006 and we recruited, I guess, 13 or 15 people. So we recruited like everyone who was there. We went to XIMB, recruited almost the same number. We went to IFM, recruited, I guess, 5 or 6. So total 35 people we recruited. So you may know some of them now. They are like the CEOs of some companies like Rakesh Jha. He is my recruited. And then Deepak Jha, I recruited him. So all these people, they were part of SKS Academy, so to say. You can call that SKS Academy at that point of time. So we recruited 35 people. Then we kind of fine-tuned the entire training program. We trained them. They presented their business plan, and then they were given a certain area, and then they started. So that's how SK started growing, multiplied the numbers. Next year, we recruited 100 people across the campuses. We were like going around looking for all the that kind of colleges. So XIMB, XISS, all different kind of colleges. We recruited 100 odd people. They were also they went through the same program, and then that's how like the SKS grew from 25 crore in 2004 to 700 crore in 2007. So that was the growth. And then I moved to Lucknow because we thought that we'll start North India operations, because North India we were not doing that well. I went there in 2007, May 2007. But then by that time, because SKS had taken Sequoia money, so SKS was under obligation to go either public or get acquired. So that way they had to recruit so many outside people. So the culture started getting diluted. There were a lot many hiccups. There were a lot many heartburns, and things started going from bad to worse. And then there were a lot of initial people who were not feeling happy. I was obviously one of them, and as they thought that I was their representative, so they asked me to go to talk to Vikram. I talked to Vikram, but then Vikram passed on that message to the new management, and that new management took grudge against me, and then they started making things difficult for me. So in 2007 I resigned from SKS. To give you context, in they had given me 15,000 shares. They had allotted me, out of which 3750 were to be vested on 1st of April 2008. I resigned on 17th of November 2007. uh, Value of those 3750 shares in 2010 would have been, I guess, 55 lakhs. So that was the amount of money. But then because I was not feeling happy, so I resigned there. And then I thought of what to do next. And then some of our batchmates got around. We thought, why can't we start on our own? So we started a venture called Sanchetna, which also had a sister concern called Samriddhi. So we started this company with our own money. We pulled some 2 crore rupees from friends, family, here and there, everywhere. But there were like 32 odd people who had put in their money. We purchased the license. We were doing quite well in Sanchetna, but then suddenly 2010 there was this Andhra crisis, after which banks stopped lending money to smaller organizations. We were one of those. Then the friends started bickering. Then people started blaming each other that this was because of you. We also thought of selling the license. We talked to a lot many people, but then there were no buyers. So I had to kind of move out of that, and then we had to sell off the license in Chetna. And then I joined Microsave, again based out of Lucknow. And then in Microsave, I was put in charge of a new team, which basically that time was dealing with the Aadhaar based payments, which were just starting 2013. The last Manmohan Singh government was just starting with that. I was handling that team. And then as part of that team, I was dealing with ministries and then this and that. But then again, after 3 years, I started feeling little stagnant, that I was not doing anything new. I was like, if you call that, maybe in terms of profile, it was a very high profile job. So I was meeting like the secretary. So just to throw some names around, the current finance secretary, TV Somanathan, he used to be joint secretary in PMO. I used to meet him quite often. Current home secretary of UP, Mr. Deepak Kumar, he is still on my WhatsApp. Arvind Subramaniam, who used to be the chief economic advisor, he's still on my WhatsApp. So those were the kind of people that I was meeting. But then there was nothing new that I was doing. So after 3 years in Microsoft, I started feeling stagnant, and there was this guy in my team, Alek. So Alek and I were in Hyderabad as part of one assignment, and we were waiting for Ola, and then we were tracking Ola on our phone, but Ola was like going here and there everywhere. So we thought that if we have this facility, why can't a farmer has a similar kind of a thing where they can also track their tractor? So we started with that idea. We did some research because we both belong to rural background. There was third guy also, Ankush Khanna. He's also from IRMA, later batches. I guess 33 or some batch. So, but then he backed out. So we went ahead with that idea. We registered a company called Farmart in 2015, December 2015. Uh, March 2016, Alek resigned from Microsafe. He started running these operations. December 2017, I resigned from Microsafe. January 2017, I joined there. We ran that company for 1.5 years with that idea, raised seed capital, realized that idea is not scalable, made one pivot to a digital sort of credit line kind of a facility for farmers where they could go to any shop, buy anything, don't have to pay at that point of time, buy now, pay later kind of a concept. That also was doing well, but then the COVID happened, and then because of COVID, we had to switch off to a third model, which basically was a kind of a app-based program for retailers, agri input retailers. We went ahead with that idea. That time, the government had kind of made changes in farm laws, which allowed anyone to buy and sell farm goods. So Farmart went ahead with that idea. Then Omedia Network got interested. They put a capital of 2.4 million. But then what Farmart wanted to do was nothing to my liking. So I made part exit in May 2021. I sold off half of my equity, paid off my loans and everything, and then thought, now to do what? And then thanks to Archana, if Archana is still here, Archana was one inspiration with her dirty feeds. So I thought that there are a lot many people who have not seen villages, and like myself, we have not gone back to villages in such a long time, and there are like a lot many kids who have never seen a village. So what if we can give them that experience, genuine experience, not a resort kind of experience? So with that idea, I started working, talked to a lot of my batchmates, friends, and everything. Everyone was very interested. But then we thought that why would someone go to Bihar to say stay in a village? So we mapped those villages which were part of some craft clusters. So we mapped craft clusters like Madhubani or maybe Pachitra cluster, and then we looked for places. We looked for hosts who could actually host people in their houses. So that was like 2021. So over a period of time in last 3 years, we have moved slightly away from stay because despite so many people saying that they would like to go back and stay in a village, no one actually goes there. They just want to maybe go for a picnic, come back. So no one stays actually in the villages. But the craft part actually kind of not exactly took off, but at least we have done 30 lakh business in last 3 years, out of which our margin is 20%. So we work made to order. So suppose if you want like a Madhubani crafted painting or Madhubani crafted bedsheet, then we can get you that bedsheet. So it's like made to order, completely customized, and Richie is one of our esteemed customer. She has taken a few paintings. So we do that, and so that company goes by name of Heritage Connect because this is basically what we are trying to do, connecting with our heritage. So that's my new initiative. It's been like almost 3 years now, 2 months short of 3 years. Doing okay. I'll not say like it has kind of taken off, but doing okay. But I guess that's the thrill. So now coming to maybe close out my story that why I do this for thrill because the thrill of starting something new is unmatchable. And whenever I feel that things are getting stabilized, I need to move out. And that's how, like, I have now, in conventional terms, you can say that I am not conventionally a good, maybe a businessman, that in the sense that wherever I should have made money, I should have stayed. Krishna has told me this several times, but then I think that I miss that thrill. Now, because of this thrill, I have been in deep, deep financial troubles. I've been in minus 40, 50, 60 lakh kind of situation 2, 3 times. But in this situation, like last year, I got one order of 1.5 lakh rupees. Imagine, like, you cannot imagine my happiness of having 1.5 lakh rupees order. That is, for many people, that would be nothing. But for me, that is my fruit of my effort that I can see right in front of me that I have made this possible. So that is the thrill that keeps me going. So I have like one advice I have for everyone is anyone like who wants to start. Maybe obviously you need not be like a fool or a foolish person like me. Definitely not. Make a calculated guess. But then there was this one of our batchmate Shekhar. I'm not sure he's not here. He used to say, and I'm not sure whether he himself remember this or not, कि अगर आप इरमा से पढ़ के भी अपनी रोजी रोटी नहीं चला पाए तो फिर तो आप क्या ही रिस्क लोगे. सो दैट इज अ सेइंग दैट आई कीप विद माई सेल्फ कि इतना तो है कि खाने कमाने लायक तो कर ही लेंगे, कुछ ना कुछ करके कहीं ना कहीं से तो निकाल ही लेंगे. तो अगर इतना करने के बाद भी आप रिस्क नहीं ले सकते हैं तो फिर कब लें. सो विद दैट आई गिव माई सेल्फ a viram, and then maybe anyone who would like to go ahead, please shoot. There was a comment
Yeah,
about that not speaking in English, I guess. So I thought I just wanted to make it really natural.
yeah, no, no, this is good. You after that you took it to English. I think it was a great learning or great hearing your story, Lokesh. And I would say to all of you that three of his immediate juniors, what he was telling 24, that they joined in Hyderabad, all three are in very nice positions at this point of time. They are leading good financial institutions and all,
Like
and they
I
have initially
like
paid.
I have negotiated their pay packages also. So if you like Deepak Jha, Rakesh Jha, like I negotiated their pay packages with their bosses. So that was yeah.
Lokesh, so that is one thing what we wanted to also understand because you are an entrepreneur with a little difference. As you yourself told that there were a lot of opportunities to earn money, but because you took a stand and then you took a decision that no, so this is what I have to do. So what is that driving force कि मतलब लोग कहीं ना कहीं कैलकुलेटिव तो होते ही हैं यूजुअली बिकॉज आफ्टर बिकमिंग अ प्रोफेशनल एंड आई सी यू एज अ डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ प्रोफेशनल. तुम कई बार ऐसे पोजीशन में आए हैं कि करोड़ों की इक्विटी तुमको एक साल में मिल जाती लेकिन सॉरी यू कुड हैव अर्नड अ लॉट ऑफ इक्विटी इन से कपल ऑफ इयर्स टाइम ओनली बट then every time I think 3 or 4 times you have missed. So after 20 years from IRMA, there are many people who are sitting at a say corpus of 5 crore, 10 crore, 15 crore, 12 crore, whatever. And you are one guy that I really means I know you would have been in that position. So what are those driving force or why those points you are not able to click or what do you think? What
So
is the reason
I
behind
guess
that? Because this will be a big learning for many even startup or entrepreneurs who are in similar positions at different point of
so
time.
Krishna, I would say like there are two parts. So first part is I guess my personal what I value the most. I value the most my autonomy, my sense of saying what I feel like saying. So I have, you know me, and those of my batchmates who are here, they know me. I have never buttered anyone. Like I have never put. I am not a sycophant. तो मैं वो नहीं कर सकता हूँ. That's not the something that I can do. So I kind of say whatever I feel like saying. In order to do that, I obviously need to be independent. I can't obviously I understand I can't do that in an organization which is large enough. So if I want to satisfy myself on that value, then I'll have to do something of my own. So that's one. Second part of that is how that is feasible. I guess that is feasible because of managing maybe how I manage myself. So there was someone like who told me very beautiful thing about there are life cycle needs and there are lifestyle needs. Life cycle needs are that you will get married, you will have kids. So those needs you can't do away with. But lifestyle needs are that you can definitely control, like whether you want a Mercedes or you want a Maruti Omni or a Maruti 800. That is lifestyle need. You need a car. Car will take you from A to B. Whether that car is a Mercedes or a BMW or say any small car, it wouldn't matter. So for me, what I have control is the lifestyle need. Not life cycle need, obviously I can't control. My kids are like, my daughter is in 11th now, my son is in 7th, so their schooling and everything is required. So that much amount of money I need. But lifestyle definitely I can control. So I've controlled that. So that is what allows me to take risk. Now, why do I take risk? And this is not, I'm not saying that this is for everyone, that you also need to do this or you also should do. No, I would never recommend. Please choose your own path. Never ever follow anyone. That's my advice. Be like Vivekanand. Don't accept anything on its face value. Choose your own path. Why I do this? Because I value my autonomy the most, and that's why I do this. Why I can do this? Because of the control on my lifestyle needs, not lifestyle. Yes.
Great. So, anyone who wants to ask a question?
Richie, yeah.
Yes. Lokesh, your story is so inspirational, really. I mean, I understand when you started off in Hindi and the way you were talking, it was so much from the heart ki, although I read Chidambaram sir's message, I didn't want to stop you in between because passion was flowing. Uh, I really am so, I'm indebted to IRMA actually, that I could get an opportunity to meet and closely see somebody like you working. And it's really inspirational to see the values. I think it's more about the values that we bring as IRMANs we bring to the table. Because अगर मैं if people don't get they don't feel bad, I would like to say हम IRMANs ना थोड़े सन की होते हैं. हमको जो करना है हम वो कर देते हैं. हमको we don't care whether somebody feels nice or not feels nice about a thing. But one thing I want to ask you, Lokesh, you've done so many businesses, started and set up. I would say that you've been like the foundation stone of multiple businesses. What do you think the role marketing plays in establishment of such businesses? And because I'm a marketeer, and I would like to see you, grow in whatever you're doing right now. Hence, probably you can take it as a hint also and a question also. What do you think you should do or you have not done? What is your opinion about marketing?
So I would say that I guess that's the most important part, and I would be first to admit that I am not good at it. So definitely not. I'm not good at it. Now, as like my mind goes back to Dr. Kurian saying that why Amul was successful, because Bombay as a market was there. So market, I guess, now why SHGs are not successful, because they keep producing. They are not bothered about what the market is demanding. So I 100% agree. Now in my case, I took the hint, but in my case, the situation is, it's a hand to mouth kind of a situation. So like like my partner Neeraj, and incidentally, for to everyone's knowledge, Neeraj is Deepak Jha's younger brother. He is also in some way connected to IRMA. So I am able to only kind of make his salary out of our monthly operation. So we do not have enough. Now I would have say gone ahead and raised some round of equity. That was an option. I didn't want to take that option because initially, if you take that, then I have seen this multiple times. I have seen like this in SKS. I have seen this across organizations. If in the initial stages, if you raise equity, then you are bound to go along with their directions. So I didn't want to do that. Organically we can grow. We might be growing like 30% per annum. I would rather want to be maybe growing at 30% without anyone else's money, compared to say having say 50 lakh rupees. Because then if money is there, then I might also tend to spend in on things that might not be required. So that's my personal thinking. Again, not saying that that's for everyone, but my personal thinking is that if you have that much money in accounts, then you might also start spending on frivolous things which may not be required. So I am better off if I have very little money in my account, because then I'm thinking of survival rather than having so much money in my account when I am thinking of frivolous things. Okay, let's take MacBook, or maybe let's go to some fancy restaurant or something. But marketing, to answer your question, is definitely required. Now, how do we do it and how do we make it affordable is, I guess, hint for you.
Yes, yes, it's hint for me. Take in hint, we will talk.
Sure.
And I, because I have worked at Amul, I always tell everyone that is the thing that I have learned at Amul, how to work in the minimal resources.
Yeah.
That's the thing that everybody learns at Amul. So I have learned it, and I will definitely come back to you.
Sure. So I guess Chidambaram sir had a question about three successes or failures. So, sir, to answer your questions, I'm like the one lesson which I keep telling anyone who cares to listen to, that when you are starting a business, obviously the first point of source of raising money is your friends and family. But that's I learned like in a bitter way, that you need to be very clear when you are raising equity that this equity is for the business, not for personal purposes. Because later on, if the things are not going good, then people would say that I had given this money to you. No, you had given this money to the business, not to me personally. So you need to separate a person from the business. So that's, I guess, my lesson from failure. Now, lesson from success, I would not say, because I do not consider myself to be a success. I consider organizations to be successful, but those were successful, like in case of SKS, because they paid lot of attention to processes. Now, Vikram Akula, who was my boss, and I still consider him to be the best boss that I have ever had. Some people have negative opinion about Vikram Akula. Some people who have been in microfinance industry might have had heard things about him. I have reported to him directly for 2 years. He was the best boss. He used to say that I would have a cookie cutter model. Even if things are going bad, if my cookie cutter is bad, then at least I will know what to fix, rather than giving that option of everyone doing their own thing, because then I would not be sure of what to fix. So pay attention to processes, make it as standardized as possible. So those are the lessons that I can talk. Sudesh, you are on mute.
Yeah, Lokesh, can
Haan ji,
I
बताइए.
ask you? Yeah, to all listeners, Lokesh was my batchmate and his batchmate. And I remember two incidents. In whole IRMA journey, Lokesh is a guy who never uses the calculator. If I am, he was so calculative. And in 2000, and in 2006, I still remember we were going with the one negotiation with Vikram Akula during my Vardhan days, sitting in the Gujarat. Daksha madam was there. We were negotiating. When I introduced Daksha madam introduced me to Vikram. So there she is the PRM 23. Vikram immediately recognizes why you are using calculator. He was using calculator, but there was some portfolio or something discussion going on. So that was a calculative image of the Lokesh in eyes of the means our PRM 23 also, as well as in his boss eyes. But when realizes the journey, Lokesh, to an entrepreneurship, I was entrepreneur, and in my whole journey, thrice and four time I started venture within the organization. Luckily, within the big organization. So I say we have a common responsibility, means a joint responsibility when we are leading some venture, something. So how the calculation might be you are earning something, losing something. But as an entrepreneur, our joint responsibility, who are putting trust to us. So why means you think that you deliberately making some calculative mistakes or that's happens sometimes? Means just is that because a lot of persons are sitting and we are on the verge again. We are going to start our entrepreneurship journey. And I still remember whenever I met with the Krishna recently in CEO Conclave and all, we were discussing like we need to start something and something. That's why I'm just asking because in a batch, you are just entrepreneur. The image is Arindam, you, two, three guys are still we remember that you are very entrepreneur and whole batch as well as junior and seniors. You inspire, but there are some calculative mistakes happen or some you take a decision which we are not able to decipher that.
So, if the question is that whether I leave the money on table knowingly, yes, I do. But is that a calculative mistake? No, it's not a mistake. As I said, I value my independence the most. So if I am not happy anywhere, then I tell this on face. So I told like Vikram on face at the time of resigning. He in fact asked me. He said that why don't you stay till 1st of April? Then 3750 shares would be vested. I said, Vikram, that if I go back to my, and my wife was pregnant that time, 17th November I resigned, 27th November my daughter was born. I said that if I go back home and my wife looks at my face, and then if she sees that I am negative from inside, it's not worth. This money is not worth. So that's my answer to your question. That is it worth that much negativity? When I feel it's not worth, then I move away.
So I think Lokesh has defined his state of happiness, and he wants to be in that state. So I think this is also a very unique thing for any person to define what is being happy for them. So I think Lokesh can be one of those examples, Swadesh.
Sure. Thank you, Lokesh.
So Junaid is asking any tips you want to share regarding starting
So,
something new.
so first I told that whenever, like, obviously it's not that, see, like, most of the time you start with something, either something that you have felt, that something maybe you wanted to have and was not there in the market, and that's why you wanted to start it, or something that you might have seen some people are missing. So those are the two things. So don't start something just purely for money. That's like the first one. See something, if that is value to you or someone else that you know, only start something there, and then take a calculative risk, because see, like, out of 10, 8 ventures go bust within 2 years. That's a fact. So just be ready that that might happen to you also. But then be ready for that situation with maybe enough capital in your bank account, that if something goes wrong with your venture, at least you are not putting some sort of a burden on your immediate funds. So maybe 6 months, 8 months, whatever expenses in your bank account before you take a plunge. So those would be the only two things. Otherwise, I don't think that I am a guru that I can give you any any sort of
But one question, Lokesh,
yeah.
I think one thing that we missed, that you told a couple of times, that actually Lokesh is a very avid reader. I think thousands of books and all he has read. So, और अभी भी वो पढ़ता है, मतलब he reads now also a lot of books. So, what is your advice to entrepreneurs or people who are starting business or trying to do business? कि किताब पढ़ने से कितना फायदा होता है? What is the benefit of
So
reading books for an
सबसे
entrepreneur?
सबसे पहला तो ये है कि नेवर रीड अ सेल्फ हेल्प बुक। दैट्स माय फर्स्ट एडवाइस। मैंने जिंदगी में एक किताब पढ़ी थी, पावर ऑफ पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग, नॉर्मल विंसेंट पील करके, अगर किसी को जानकारी हो तो। एंड देन आई रियलाइज दिस गाय हिमसेल्फ कमिटेड सुसाइड। तो सबसे पहला तो ये कि कोई भी सेल्फ हेल्प किताब तो कभी मत पढ़ना। आई रीड लाइक ओनली नॉवेल्स, बिकॉज वो ज्यादा अच्छे होते हैं फ्रॉम एनी ऑफ दीज एडवाइजरी काइंड ऑफ बुक्स। तो किताबें पढ़ने से, लाइक, it kind of builds your perspective, but you can never replicate whatever is written there. So that's my advice. Don't ever go by anyone else's writing or saying. Use your own wisdom and go ahead with some conviction in something that you feel has a value. You might also maybe proven wrong there also. I'm not saying that you cannot be, because as I told about pharma, we thought it was a very valuable service, but we realized that farmers do not value that service that much. So we had to shift that model. So it's not that you would always be correct. It would always be a chance where you might also be proven wrong, whatever, after howsoever maybe research that you might be doing it. But then go ahead with your conviction and then own that decision. Don't ever blame anyone else. There's this one good book which is not self-help book by Subrata Bagchi, High Performance Entrepreneur. Read that. In that he says that anyone who is looking for second chances, like if there's someone going to his boss and saying that if I don't succeed, will you give me my job back, they can never be entrepreneur. Because if you are looking for that safety net, you can never be entrepreneur, because then you are not convinced yourself. Don't do that unless you are 100% sure. Yes, so I see two hands, Shubhankar and Deep Shah, so anyone can go.
Hey, hi, Lokesh. I think thank you so much for sharing the experience. Very exciting and very inspiring, to be very honest. Because I think so. It's been 7 years. I've been in job, right? And in fact, every time we think of something that this will work or not, we think twice before taking that decision. And I think you have taken those decisions in a fingertip. It's a very commendable one. Probably, obviously, each of the decisions come with the cost and at the same time benefits also. Uh, I think, Lokesh, I want to understand one perspective, a very important one, because what do you think, whatever decision you have taken in your life, whether your guide or mentorship would have helped if, and if let's say that you had an access to uh, cohort of mentors, right? Whether these decisions would have different, whatever decision you have taken in the past, right? Obviously, the books are sort of,
Mhm.
will help you to build the perspectives. You have your own personality also at play. But like sometimes, let's say everyone has their own perspective. Probably, let's say leaving those money on the table, starting that. Startup which was kind of way ahead of its time because farmer those time did not have a
Right.
technology in their hand, right?
Mhm.
So probably today, in the hindsight, I might say those were the probably not very mature decision, but it's very easy to say, right? But do you think that access to the cohort of mentor would have helped?
Okay. Now, if you are talking about having technical mentors and maybe people to talk to, those two would be two different things. So
No, so
now,
mentors in any stage, basically, let's say it could be your advisors, it could be
Mhm.
anyone. I mean, so that they will not let you fail. That's the definition for me.
Okay. So now, to answer your question, definitely, if you have some people who you could talk to, that definitely helps. But the caveat is that those people should not have an agenda while like talking to you. So that's why where I am little susceptible about suspicious about all these mentorship programs and accelerator programs and everything, because as farmer like we have been part of few, but then because they come with an agenda. So what I rather believe that you should have someone who you could pour your heart to. That is more important than someone who can give you technical knowledge, because technical knowledge like you'll have to figure yourself out. No one can help you, no one is in your situation. But as I was talking to another of our alumni, Daphne Albuquerque, if some of you might know that, there should be a sort of a place where people can share their failures. Because if you see LinkedIn or Facebook or any of such places, you will feel everyone is very successful, which is not the case, because we know that out of 10, 8 are failing. But then people always show that side. But where do you go and share your failures? And if you make that normal, because why US is such a thriving economy, because they have made failures normal. They say that failures happen. In India, we just want to hide away failures. We just say, okay, everyone is very successful. You talk to anyone on LinkedIn, you think like every LinkedIn is like a Facebook of professionals now. People are just talking, okay, this I did this great, that great, everything is great. Oh no, if everything is so great, why India is not doing that great? So that my answer to your question is that having someone to talk to without an agenda is definitely an asset to have. If you have that group to talk to, technical expertise no one can provide you. Maybe definitely someone can tell you about mobile technology, but about the exact solution and everything, I'm not sure there are many people who can provide you that.
Understood. And you raise a very good point about sharing of failure experience because I think the real learnings come from there only, right? That
Yeah.
why somebody failed, and probably you can take a learning from there and build upon it, right? So how can we develop something like that for IRMA? Probably people can come.
Like, start an initiative. I can give you my own 6 7 failures. so, so maybe Richie can take lead there, that we should maybe, and just be proud of the fact that we have failed entrepreneurs also. Don't just stigmatize that they are failures. So I'm very open about that. I did many things. I'm a failure in most of those. So, but each of those actually
It's
made
not
me
a failed
feel.
or success one.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur is an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And failure and success कुछ नहीं होता है. I think it's just the कुछ समय के लिए.
Two
Like
side, two sides of the same coin, है ना, Krishna?
yes, yes,
Yes, I
So
agree.
Shubhankar had another question. Shubhankar.
yes, Shubhankar sir.
Yeah, hi, look, am I audible?
Yeah. Hi, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
hi,
yes,
Lokesh,
sir.
how are you?
Badhiya,
Seeing you after a
badhiya.
very long time.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any question to ask, but This is the first of this series I'm attending, and
Oh,
really loved your heartfelt, session. And it was, as Richie said, it's all coming from the heart. And of course, having been in the microfinance sector myself, could identify, I guess, fair deal. And also your Karma Bhumi of Nizamuddin district
Islamabad.
was next to my Karma Bhumi of Adilabad district.
Adilabad, I know.
One district above.
Yeah.
So very good to see you and hear your story. And Richie and everybody else, I must really commend you guys for doing this every Saturday and Sunday. And I feel guilty for not attending these now. And I'm seeing what I have been missing. So all the very best to you, Lokesh.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a
So
lot.
I'm great, hearing about Prasida, who's a good friend and an inspiration to many in the sector.
Yeah.
You have
I'm
done a lot,
already.
Lokesh, for the sector. People outside the sector may not know about it, but those of us who are in this, you are part of the, first crop of professionals,
Yeah.
right, joining the sector. So all the best to you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
I think we already have an entrepreneurs group, and I would request all the entrepreneurs to please interact and learn from each other. I think that's gold that we have, which we are not utilizing. That's all probably, I can say, because I've gone through really tough times. I'm also an entrepreneur. It's been 10, 11 years now, and I remember those initial days. I mean, that time WhatsApp was not so
Yeah.
prevalent. It was not there. Had it been there, I think my story would have been different. So that's what we have to use.
Great. I think, yeah.
One
Easy.
minute, before closing, I would like to show everyone what work Lokesh is doing currently. Look at his initiative, and he has, like he told us about, he has been connecting the real heartland of India to the cities and to people like us. I have not traveled to most of. I claim to be mera sasural is in Bihar, but I have not visited these places, and beautiful stuff. And I really hope that we are able to do something for each other in terms of, giving ideas. I mean, we don't need money. That, like Lokesh said, it's not about money. My husband Piche he was telling, see, he's telling about you only. So so it's not about money. It's more about how we can bring that thing, ideas, or maybe do things which might really become really big. So we need to figure out and look at some of these things.
Just a question here, Lokesh.
Yeah.
These artworks, these handicraft, these products, are you only selling at the retail level, or can people who run boutiques or gift shops and all, can they also purchase from you and
Sure,
sell it
sir.
with a markup or something?
Sure, sir. So like the thing is that as I was telling earlier in my talk that we do not have capital. So it's like we do not have inventory. So it's like made to order. So if someone tells me that I need maybe of this size or this craft or anything, we can definitely deliver. Now I have
Oh,
been doing this only for retail till now because obviously we started with friends and family within the WhatsApp group and everything. Now this year onwards, we are trying to get in touch with corporates also, not obviously bigger ones, the smaller ones, because everything is handcrafted. So someone tells me that मुझे 5,000 pieces चाहिए, I cannot deliver because हाथ से बनने में उतना time लग जाएगा. So I
understood.
can deliver कि
Okay,
आपको
I
100
will
200.
connect offline with this on
Sure,
this.
sir.
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I would urge everyone to, because I have tried out, when I ordered the painting with Lokesh, I think a few weeks later, I was going to some Delhi Heart or some place, and I saw a huge shop. For the same price, they were selling similar paintings, and I realized the quality what Lokesh had given me was superb. I mean, I told my sister at that time that this is nothing in front of what I have got for the same price. So I think we really need to congratulations, Lokesh. You are doing an amazing job,
And
and
I see Bharat Bhai's comment that he had also taken a few things. So he's saying that thank you, Bharat Bhai. I appreciate it.
yes, yes, absolutely. So we all Yes, Shubhankar sir, you may please don't now. Please, you can speak without raising your hand. Yes, somebody else. Yes.
Hi, Loki. How are you?
Hi, Lavi.
I have two questions,
Yeah.
Loki. One, how are you handling that pain? I don't know whether I should use the word called pain or not. 15,000 shares. I know some of our friends and then our juniors liquidating at around 1,000 rupees in SKS.
Yeah, 1500.
How?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how some of them actually liquidated at 1,500. So
Yeah.
you had 15,000 shares.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you handle that? Do you call it as a loss or is it like? I mean, how? I mean, I just want to understand
Like
that.
my philosophy, Lavi, is that, and first of all, thanks for switching your video on. Now I can see you. So Lavi and I were also induction fieldwork partner. So we went to, and that's one part of my story, Lavi, and I need to tell you this. We went to Surat district. So there was this village, a tribal village, where they had only one charpai. So Lavi and I used to share that charpai, and that family used to sleep on the floor. They had only one river in the village, which they used to use for everything. Lavi and I, we did not take bath for 6 days. When we came back, all our bags were like full of blisters. But then that also made me realize that there is more to life than money. And Lavi, that's answering your question, that I realized that, and that time, like Irma used to say that you should give us 3 years. Before that, I must confess that I was not committed to 3 years giving to the sector. But after my induction fieldwork, I was 100% sure that against this, 3 years is nothing, because there are like people who are not getting even water in their houses, and then they were giving us their own charpai. So Lavi, that is answer to your question, what I value the most. I value the most my happiness. Okay, and my happiness, so like at the end of the day, you know me, and we have been in constant touch ever since, that we need to eat roti, maybe in your case rice. We need to sleep on a bed. Now, if that bed has a maybe it's a very big bed or something, I just need that 6 feet space to sleep. I need just two, three rotis to eat. Now, if I just need that much, then why should I bother about so many other things in life? I should do something that makes me happy. So if
Perfect.
something is not making me happy, then I would just walk away from that thing. So that was the SK situation when it was there. So I had to
How
move
is
on.
the organization looking like, Loki? So how is it going like? Because I think this is the
Currently,
longest
currently
time that
like
you're. Yeah, this is the longest time that I could see you spending. Most. Is it correct?
so this is, I guess, the closest to my heart in that sense. So like whatever I was doing was nothing new. I was just trying to maybe make things little more efficient. But this, what I am trying to do right now, is closest to my heart, because there is no precedent of this kind of a thing, at least to my mind. I've never come across something like which is made to order. You can obviously go to websites and buy things, but those are not made to order. Here, like I am trying to actually work with someone. If you see, like most of our artisans, they are so poor that they cannot, we had to pay them in advance for them to buy goods so that they can make something. So it is actually working at that level. This is the closest to my heart in terms of what I'm doing right now.
This is like sixth year, right? Sixth or fifth one?
No, this is fourth will
Fourth
start.
year.
Yeah.
And this is the longest duration.
The
With
longest
with
that I have not felt stagnant, you can say
Yeah.
that.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Loki. Let us stay connected and wish you all success.
Sure. Thanks,
Yeah.
Lavi.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I can see a few of my. Is that Akhil Arora? Akhil? I can see Akhil.
Yes, that's Akhil.
So just to
हाय
make
हाय हाय लोकेश कैसा है भाई
बढ़िया भाई, तो मैं just to complete my earlier story, Akhil was the person who actually came to my room on the day one of placement, where he kind of helped me with the GD. So I had to acknowledge that. So when I realized that it was Akhil, so it
थैंक्स
was.
भाई थैंक्स
अखिल जैसे दोस्त हमें भी चाहिए भाई.
भाई I have no questions, Lokesh.
अरे
But
विवेक भाई.
आज आज डॉक्स का फोन आया, बोला ही इज इन आनंद, अभी मिलने आ जा. तो अभी मैं उससे मिलने जा.
चलो चलो चलो, बढ़िया.
तो
मेरे
I
पास.
remember You took the risk of jumping from the mess terrace, I think.
मैं वो स्टोरी बताना नहीं चाहता था, पर चलो ठीक है. मतलब ये irrationality की स्टोरी है. So there was this guy, Vivek knows Robin P. Matthew. So we used to play volleyball. So volleyball, like we were just knocking it off in front of the mess. So volleyball went on the terrace. Then Robin dared me that you cannot jump from terrace. And I, being this irrational person, I said that I can jump. And then I jumped from terrace. I broke my feet. I have like 4 fracture in my right feet. So,
I
so,
remember that.
so Vivek, I have another story of you and me, but that I will tell you offline.
Okay, all the best.
Hello, okay, thanks. I
Krishna,
can
you
see.
want to make some closing comments or something?
So I can just say hi to Amit, Kumar Amit.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes,
can just see him. Hi Amit.
हाय
absolutely.
लोकेश भाई
Hi, कैसे हो भाई?
बढ़िया बढ़िया आपका so when you were like describing SKS days, so I was from the second batch which
Correct,
you
I know.
recruited from the campus. And
I
I
know.
have along with me, see who is here. Hi,
Oh,
Lokesh.
okay. अरे वाह. बढ़िया बढ़िया. So ये है हमारे 35 में से जो लोग थे, 2 लोग.
Yeah.
चलो यार, nice meeting you.
Thanks for
I
sharing
think
the
this IRMAN Talks is like really doing its job, right, Amit?
yeah. And
चलो.
Richie, we have to listen Nandabala's story also. He has completed his the bike tour recently, no?
Absolutely. Please share details. I will organize.
We'll connect with him. I think you have already connected with him. No?
Yeah, I'll just check the schedule. If he's placed a little later, we can try to see if we
Yeah.
can go on it.
So is this Vivek Vyas by any chance, or no? So that's that Vivek Chomu. Okay.
Nicknames.
Yeah.
How can you recognize without the camera, only with the name?
I was just going through the names. So I know Bisoya, I know Bisoya. I met Manoj Bhai, I guess Manoj Bhai. Then I was just going through the names. किन किन को जानता हूँ मैं. चलो, बढ़िया.
Krishna, where are you?
So Ranjit is also here. You can see Ranjit. Krishna गायब हो गया. So I can close it myself.
No. Acha, you want
Actually,
you make a closing comment, then
कॉल
I.
आ गया है, I'm on call.
अच्छा, हाँ कृष्णा भाई क्लोज करो. तो इवन मतलब ये भी है कि कृष्णा कैन आल्सो क्रेडिट मी विद गिविंग हिम दिस आइडिया ऑफ स्टार्टिंग दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन.
yes.
चलो.
कॉल आ गया था. एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बीच बीच में बहुत सारे रूम में. अभी भी रांची में हूँ. एक ट्रेनिंग से निकल के आ गया था फॉर दिस थिंग. But yeah, I think really it went well and people liked it a lot. काफी अच्छा लगा हमको. एक नया पर्सपेक्टिव देख के we got a new perspective because money is what most of the people value सबसे ज्यादा. But here Lokesh gave us a perspective that how one can derive a lot of satisfaction for out of happiness also. So happiness को कैसे हम define करें, and we enjoy our work. I know कि लोकेश क्या करता है कि whenever he enjoys his work, he will continue doing. As he told in this assignment, he is really enjoying it and very close to heart. So this is a very good learning for us also to value so many other things apart from money. Money definitely is there, and that is एक importance तो है उसका. It has one importance, but then there are so many other things. So I think this was a great talk, and it was a great learning experience for even all of us. हमारे लिए भी काफी अच्छा था. And good to see that so many people connected from our batch, immediate senior, immediate junior, and some senior people also joined and gave their advice. So thanks to Richie also, Richie and Ritesh, that these types of talks go on, and I think we should continue with it and try to understand more and more and learn more and also earn more. and Lokesh को भी
Yeah,
थोड़ा earn
yeah.
करने की और
Krishna, I
लेके
would like to add कि ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोग we are not earning. Entrepreneurs are earning also. In public, we don't claim that we are earning.
and I must
देखो,
tell you,
Lokesh is laughing now. हंस रहा है.
Lokesh also earns a lot. In fact, I think that entrepreneurs earn a lot. मतलब अगर वो पूरा समय देखा जाए ना, तो पैसे के मामले में भी अगर जो भी 25-50 साल, 30 साल, 35 साल अगर कोई काम करता है, one person works. So I think entrepreneur का, if you take the data, they will earn much more than the people who are like non-entrepreneurs. Nothing to demean non-entrepreneurs, मतलब they are also doing a great job.
Absolutely. It was such a lovely time. Okay. Can I mute some of the people? Okay. So now I'll take the
Yeah,
opportunity
Richie,
to
I think
close
you
the
can have a
session.
closing comment.
Yeah, I will take the opportunity to thank Krishna as well as Lokesh. We had such a heart-touching discussion. Really, I think all the entrepreneurs would definitely agree with me. And I also feel that the job guys, those who are working as corporate, what would you like to call them? They are taking up jobs and working. I'll not call them slaves, but I think they will also resonate with occasions when they feel that, I don't want to work here anymore. And it's just that courage, that one step that we take, that courage we have to gather, and we have to decide what we want for life. And it is really amazing. And I feel so blessed that I know you all. And it is really very encouraging to see that values are such values are still there in today's world. And I'm very grateful to the IRMA Alumni Association and the executive committee. A lot of members are here today, including Archana was here, Ritesh is here, and also Amit was here. So thank you. Manoj is on. Manoj, you want to make some comments? You want to say something, Manoj?
मनोज भाई
लोकेश से तो मैं अभी जस्ट कुछ मिला ही था कुछ दिन पहले
पिछले महीने ही मिले थे
just a few weeks back he was in my office and in fact this is Lokesh who brought me in microfinance.
Oh wow.
So in microfinance he was my first
आधी
boss.
सैलरी दे दो मनोज, आधी सैलरी दे दो.
वो बैचमेट भी है, पहला बॉस भी है माइक्रोफाइनेंस का.
Wonderful, wonderful. So nice. Thank you everyone for joining in, and we look forward to having more heart-to-heart discussions. And you will find recording of all these talks. Those who have not seen some of these talks, you are welcome to watch them on the YouTube channel. But live ka maza hi alag hai. So please do join in when it's happening live, because it not only motivates the speaker, but it motivates us also as the organizers. It's really nice to see you all participating, laughing, interacting. That's the objective of these talks. It's not about getting recordings, because recordings though thousands are available.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I'm stopping the recording now. If you want to discuss informally, I'll keep the link open. Thank you.